Hi everyone. So I have been, okay, I don't consider myself a person who's very like all about labels and stuff. So I really love what we're emphasizing today, which is service about self. And I feel like the moment like we even like get bitten by that bad way, it's like you just know you want to give more of yourself than just being every day, you know, like it's not the first time you guys are emphasizing the fact that young people are going through a lot. Yeah, yes, it's a very difficult time that we are going through, but if you look at it, like when there was the Great Depression, when there was World War One, when there was World War Two, all of these things, like the Wall Street crashing, it led to the most opportune time. So for me, it's very encouraging that, you know, I got to listen to everything that your club has managed to achieve during this time, because it was COVID. And I mean, it's like, it's pioneering a whole way of doing Rotary, really, you know. So as I've been introduced, I'm Syndi, Khathwane, Ntombini. I am a Rotarian since, I think it was 2015 or something, but, and I'll always be a Rotarian. I may not be able to attend meetings because I'm more the kind of person who needs to be at grassroots levels. So you'll definitely always be catching me in the communities. So I was the PR brand head on the board, or board member, yes, for public relations in 2018, 2019, and 2020, well, 2 years, well, 2 terms concurrently. And I really enjoyed the role because, yeah, like we are being encouraged to do, you should have a relationship, and not just only with media, like every single person that I meet. Like, I first want to know what it is that you do, and then I'm going to save your number on my phone, because through that interaction, I am going to remember you. And at the back of my mind, I'll always be like, okay, that's the girl that I met there, and then I'll save it as that, because back in the day we used to use business cards, but now we have our phones, which is really readily available. So I never throw away a business card, and I always, like, I value each and every single person that I meet. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting more of you. It's nice to see people like Mlungisi and Shelembe, because I remember they were just babies like when I got here, but you know, when you have like that vibe. So, you know, just a little bit about me when I say that I had to move back into the grassroots levels. Like, so one of the things that I knew by the time I had relocated back home, which was in 2013, is that I'd worked for the public, private, and non-governmental sector. So I feel like everything in my life has been preparing me for this moment right now. But I always knew, with post raising my kids to a certain point, which is like the age 10, 12, 13, I would then want to live out my legacy work. So naturally, when I met up with Marge at the GAP, I was like, yo, like, I know that I have to talk to you, because this is what I want to do with my life, you know. So one of the things that I prioritize is, let me first see the best practices. Let me first see how it's done. Let me first learn from those who have done it. So I'm glad this is the first thing that I ever did, was go into employment. So as I would sit there, yes, I was the youngest, but I mean, my goals were my personal goals. So maybe, yes, to get to where I was solely independent, I was driving my own car and I had my own place, I had to make sure, I work from officer level right up to being head of communications, which I successfully did in a record space of time, because then I realized it's okay. What I love is writing, what I love is people, and I thought maybe journalism was that, and then I found, you know, but it's fake news. And actually, that brings me to why today I bought Optimus Prime. So Optimus Prime, and you guys must know this about me, I'm all about Africa, and Africa pushing African stories. So this is a movie I just watched recently, and I forgot what the title is, but Optimus Prime is this guy who just really is like each and every one of us, you know, because I am your sister in humanity. You are my brother in humanity. I am a spiritual being having a physical experience first. So all of these things that we say, we're going through a hard time, whatever, is just an opportunity for us to say, what am I supposed to be seeing in all of this? And we have seen it through the initiation of this very club that we are here about. So in this movie, Optimus Prime, every single movie, Optimus Prime just wants to get his people back to their planet, because he was the one who said, let's stop by Earth and whatever. And then what did we turn out to be? We turned out not to be the most Ayoba people. We like crappy to them, and they're just only trying to help, you know. So this last movie is more about the spirits of collaboration. So now you have like these ancient animal forces, whatever, like Nabo, they like machinery, whatever, and then Nabo Optimus Prime and his guys, you know. And then there's this young girl who works in a museum, and she's committed to the vision. She's like, she sees this piece of art or whatever it is, and she's like, she knows that there's more to it. So now we're talking about vision, right? Because we talked about the fact that you guys had a vision. You always had a vision. The Rotary Act has always had a vision. And the whole point is for us to stay committed to the vision. And if there's something that Optimus Prime does very well, is stay committed to the vision. So there's this character called Ryla. And she's obviously like, I mean, she's scared and whatever, but she understands that in her life's vision, it was about uncovering all of these things. So she goes on this adventure to save the world, right? I see myself like as a Ryla, where it's like, you know, maybe like I'm scared, and past President Mpiwa just touched on it. Like, if we don't have a little bit of fear in our hearts about something, then we're not dreaming big enough.
Yeah.
And we have to be uncomfortable with being comfortable, you know. And Kuti, yes, I've served as this is Rotary or whatever. It's always a new chapter. It's always an opportune time. So I'm listening. I'm like, okay, wow, okay, now we are talking, because what I currently do now, like, so we close down our forestry business because, you know, you try, you're like, okay, let me just fight for the business. 4 times we opened and we closed during COVID. And it just wasn't working, and we were already in a recession, and we're like, okay, to all 100x amount of people, like, please find jobs, you know. But was that a weakness in my partner and I? No, it wasn't a weakness, because on one hand, I had prayed. I remember my daughter was like 13, like was 5 years old, and I was, Father God, please tell me that should I go through winter, I will always remember what summer feels like, you know, because like, as surely as the sun sets, so surely shall it rise too, you know. So now I've worked in like different agencies and different sectors and whatever. So I'm learning. I'm like, okay, so this is what like a business takes to run. There must be finance, there must be corporate services. All of these things are like the nucleus of everything. But I had never actually been in a role where I had to make sure the whole production of something happens. And this is what you guys are. Like, you guys are like the oil, the glue that keeps the machinery going. If treasurer drops the ball, then nothing's gonna get done. If HR doesn't actually focus on whatever you guys call your titles, because remember, I am not what I am who I am, you know. I am love, I am truth, I am peace, you know, I am light, you know. But I am a mother, I am a professional, I'm a business owner, I am a humanitarian, I'm a social advocate for social change, you know. So those are the hats that I wear. So in learning how to navigate through a system where it's like, okay, so essentially I'm a fixer, so I will step out, I won't have even $200 to fill up my van, but I also have to make sure are those things are being utilized and consumed in the right way, you know, because then maybe there's wastages, maybe there's this, there's that. What it taught me was that, one, I have a resilient relationship with my partner. So because if I knew there's one thing I knew I can trust myself, because whatever I start, I finish it, you know. I don't have to be called anything because I know what's in my heart, you know. So this is the situation that we had. So all the while in the background, we are working on our life's work, which is exactly the service above self, you know, because you know what we knew is that we're cutting trees, but cutting trees is not our natural state of beingness, because we are about growth, we are about planting, we are about adding value. So when I'm listening to this whole beautiful baby that's been birthed through the Mabane Mbuluzi Rotary Club, I'm like, okay, so we are moving from a time where we are saying, Guti, I'm gonna assist from the donor mentality, which is something that we were conditioned to believe is the way that things should be, right? But we are moving to a point where we are saying, let us maximize on our individual potential. So basically, all throughout these 2 decades odd, you know, because obviously it's a bit more than 2 decades, I have learned how to maximize my potential. I'm reading this book, or I have been reading this book. It's called The Outliers, but see, 10,000 hours is all it takes to perfect something. So while everyone else goes and Baba no hooray, whatever, my hooray is actually being committed to my vision. Checking Guti, am I still doing everything that it takes? So during COVID, we initiated the Uhuru pop-up concept, or the Uhuru Concept Africa, which was a pop-up store, which was a response to retail, to say, to why are we as Maswati, like, you see your clarity, like, now you must put my products into your, and actually even that whole system is slanted to benefits the one, right? All of these things you guys are talking about, see 42, see 24, but now figure 8. You know, it doesn't matter, we see how many numbers there are. What matters is that you show up like this tree every single day, whatever season it is. This tree is going to show up, right? Yeah. So then Uhuru Uhuru Africa, Concept Africa, has the pop-up concept, which was popped out outside of ShopRite at Woodlands for the longest time, because actually what had triggered it is because I'd gotten these bags, like these were like these disposable bags, or what, like biodegradable bags. Before Fiande Nale campaign Pata Sapona. But the reason why we had gotten them, we were saying, Gutsi, instead of giving us plastic bags, because you keep giving us plastic bags, why don't you source these from us and give people these? But then Pata Sapona now then came and commercialized it. So there was the Pick and Pay, like saying, come sell it to us so we can sell it to the Nang. So that's not my vision, right? That was not part of the vision. So it was like, no, we will sell the bags outside, and actually let's sell everything that we know that anyone sells, right? So then the other thing that we then went full force into, when I say we, I'm talking about my beautiful husband, Ntombini, because I feel like, I mean, we've known each other for life, and when a partnership becomes more than just like something about being husband and wife, we have just been fortunate enough, Kuti, we are passionate about the same things. He does something different, I do something different, but we're both permaculturists, you know. So I took the rotary fees that I was struggling at that time to pay, because now I'm like, have a struggling business and whatever, you know, I have children and whatever. And then I went and I registered for a permaculture course, Ekuba Permaculture. And that's where I learned like the whole living system, because we have to be creating living systems. That is what Rotary actually just stands for. It's about creating living systems where everyone can actively participate in the economy so that we thrive. Because unless we are all working, we are not going to achieve equal access to opportunities. We are not going to be free. You know, because fair trade and, you know, like equal access goes hand in hand, and sharing the education, the information is what's important. So we have rooted organics, which is our value adding component. So that's the mother body, rooted, so we plant naturally. When we plant naturally, we are creating the example. So now I process essential oils. I do cold press edible and cosmetic oils. We have condiments, which is like your flavored spices. We sell like actually like salads and like vegetable packages, like so we products develop from our permaculture garden. And we then therefore stakeholder, like we consultation. So all of these components have to keep moving, because somebody has to do the work before we get there to cut the ribbon, right? You know, so some of us really like getting our hands dirty, but it was like, okay, how though then do we have a succession plan? Because that's where we fail, right? Africa is not moving forward because we're not value adding. But why aren't we value adding? People don't know what to do. Why don't people know what to do? Because they don't have equal access to information, right? So that is why Interact feeds into Rota Act, feeds into Young Professions Rota Club, and then feeds into Rotary, because it's a whole value-adding system which has to be existent in every aspect of what we do. So we have a Sunrise Academy Africa, and that's actually, you guys must come to our Uhuru Garden. I would love it if you guys came. Maybe, I don't know whether you guys want to come for a team building with me, I don't know, whatever. Like, you know, can come sit under the tree. Recently, we have had TEDx Kwamila Streets. They've been doing their rehearsals there. I'm a co-curator, because remember, when I started off, I said I'm bringing Optimus Prime, because we are telling African stories and by Africans for Africans and coming from a deeply authentic place. So I've had the honor and privilege since 2020, because I was sitting there, I was like, okay, said value we go okay. Like, you know, as in now we must all sit at home. We barely even have like internet, whatever. I was like, but what can I do? I was like, I can give off myself. So I started targeting the child care point centers. I just asked the community leaders, could see, please mobilize some people for me, 25. But I focused on girls because I'm a girl child and that's what I do know. Like, I mean, I know what the girl child is saying. I don't yet know what the boy child is saying. But the moment I do, believe you me, I'll be right up there, like supporting that cause. So just in that period between then and now, like in person, we managed to impact on just under 2,000. So we're doing like an in-person, like going around like 7 communities I work with here in Eswatini, and then 2 in South Africa, which is Ngomazi, as well as Harwick, which is a seed banking thing. And then just started working with the Ponte Odora Masjid, which is all a strategy, because I was like, okay, fine, so we start off with the self-awareness curriculum, which is what I would take you guys all through. And now self-awareness curriculum, we ask you to, who am I in all of this? You know, who am I? So it's really about leadership of self, like, because I have to be like internally and outwardly sound and complete. So we use our 7 energy centers because that's what aligns us to our soul to God, because we are part of this greater magical experience, right? And then we have empowerment. So empowerment is like, we look at what are the problems in the community. I break you guys up into groups. You come up with your own solutions and we come out with the campaign out of that. Then the third part of it was skills development. So before Benghamba, whatever, and then we make something new, because I have to like trigger your creativity. So we're reigniting infinite creative potential in communities, right? And it was like, okay, no, but how do we make this into an income generating project? Because remember, hunger, crime. And then everyone forgets that, and then like it's like, to some people are just like raised differently. But if I'm hungry and I have to feed my kids, we all saw it when the protests happened, and we were like, right? You know, you were willing to do anything at that time. So now what we do is we capacitate, each one teach 10. So like Nyalonje, I think this week, 1st June, July, in July, I need to have a group of like 2 from these 7 communities coming to learn from our Huru Garden permaculture, and then they go back to their communities and they implement, and then I, through observation and facilitation, ensure that they are teaching 10 other community members, so that after a period of 12 months, what emerges is that we have these permaculture living systems that are examples in all of these different communities. We have identified so what is in abundance in our communities that we're not value adding enough, you know. And remember, the first world is always looking. We don't want to see. Remember, the first diamond was found on this guy's property. He left because he was like, amazing things. Yet this rock that he had found there was actually the first diamond, or was something like that, but it's some story. But so the resources will always be here in Africa. I actually even believe, if food security don't know about my side, but are we doing enough? I don't think so, because we are not coming together. Which brings me back to the story of Optimus Prime and these guys. They had to come together. Optimus Prime's ambition, vision was very noble. He just wanted, please do not destroy this thing, because it's the last chance we need to get home. This other character is like, we need to destroy this thing, because if we don't destroy it, then my planet is going to be destroyed, and my little brother still needs medical care. And then there were those other animals like that had been like also stuck there, who also had their own thing. But it was just 3 evil guys, 3 of them, and I'm like, but why can't they defeat them? Optimus Prime is like so amazing. But it is because we all have to dig deep inside and maximize on our potential. Haiguti, the dark side is stronger. It's just that we will shine lighter, brighter together. So with that said, guys, let us remember, Guti, service above self means that your truth and my truth are equally important. It also means that I should value myself in each and every single thing that I do, because then I will always be my authentic self. You guys have noticed, Kuti, I didn't even try to prep for this talk because I was like, okay, then I was like, no, but I am a Rotarian in spirit. You know, I remember what I said, like we are spiritual beings before we are in this 3D experience. So it doesn't change who I am. Perhaps I just have changed the variables in terms of how I personally engage. And that is why for me today, I am so excited to be standing up in front of you guys, because come and see what we are doing, and let's see how we can channel this thing and actually centralize it, because unless we centralize what we are doing, why do black people not work together? Why is it that other nations are able to come together? But it is just because, like Mpiwa said, there was no one who was actually facilitating the process of bringing us together. So today we are together, and the faces who have been seen to have not been here and have come back, but we have just been working in the background, because leading from the back is as equally important as leading from the front, you know. So I thank you guys. Do you guys have any questions? Because remember, it's a transformer, like it can transform however and however we want to be to achieve our greatness. My flame will always like shine brightly. So my flame shining brightly does not take away from yours shining brightly. Yours is just to focus on how brightly your flame shines, and that's just about it. So.
Thank you very much. I'm very much interested in permaculture, and agriculture per se. So anything that has to do with so I'd like to know more. I don't know how to get rich off you, but I'd love to know more about permaculture and real. What exactly can one do to empower our communities? Because some of us are from different communities, rural communities as well. So what exactly can we do as individuals or as leaders, and as a group of leaders? What exactly can we do to empower our communities, especially in this topic, permaculture, that I love so much?
Well, I'm very happy that you would bring it up, and like, you know, if there's something that's like I want my kids or anyone to think of when they think of me, is like, okay, I'm my integrity, I'm kind, and I'm loving. So when I say you guys can come for your next session or your next meetup to the permaculture, to our Uhuru garden, I actually mean it. Let's hope to see the weather holds up. Even if it doesn't, we have enough space to get you guys inside cinema style, because we use a 6 senses based form of learning. So show me, taste it, feel it, smell it, you know, and then understand it, you know. So what we will do is we will take you through the entire process of what's seen as rooted organics we do, you know. So like I said, Kuti, through Sunrise Academy, it does begin with leadership of self. So it's self-awareness. Self-awareness is so important, because when I am self-aware, I am able to shut out the noise, and I'm always able to bring it back to the balance. And then I also recognize any disease that I might feel in my body or in my thinking, mind, body, and soul is caused by the kind of thought processes that I'm having. So therefore, I need to make sure I am eating right. So how will I eat right if I don't understand what it is that I'm planting? So what we love about permaculture is that we use 12 permaculture principles. So learn and design from nature, zero waste, you integrate, don't segregate. So like while you are planting, you are thinking, okay, this thing has many benefits, because we all only have benefits. Good, my challenges. I believe this whole thing, I would say, I go challenge. No. It was an opportunity for me to look at things differently. And maybe I missed it that time, and it's coming up again, so I have to try again to look at it differently. So yes, we would take you through like the whole permaculture principles, the whole permaculture setup. This is why we have our water harvesting measures there, because sink, slow down, store. all of these principles are directly applicable to your own life. Okay, yes, we do have master classes where if you want to like now hone in on whatever it is that you want to hone in, we actually have a loving self event activity coming up soon, so that anyone who is in that space of cultivating like a spirit of wellness, of nutrition, of service above self means like I have to service myself first. Remember, it says a humanitarian. You have to take care of yourself first, because I cannot fill others' cup from a half empty. Like, so basically that is why we start off with self-awareness, but we also create an understanding of Gutsi. Things are always in abundance. Maybe we're just not looking at them that way. So, njengoba ngiyolanza umsutane enhlambeni nemarula ngithi ngicela konke ngiyacela nami ngisengikade ukuthi yakhiwa njani activated charcoal, but I'm gonna make it. You know, half the time like we so sleep deprived because I have to go harvest like the beautiful herbs that my husband plants in the garden, and then I'm process and process and not recycle, so I don't want to waste water, so I use my water bottles that I put in the freezer, and then like my little pump there, and then I must use gas. So it's quite a lot of stuff, but what's really lovely about it is that once you get it, you get it. So if I'm gonna look at my, if I'm learning and designing from nature, I'm learning from the greatest teacher, God, which is the greatest love. And already there's contours, there's everything there. Why get me my swale when it must go this way, because then that way I can create this tool and it can be all of the same level and it can sink and store. But if I'm making a trench, then I want to see how water flows, whatever, because everything is life. We are not the only life form. So rocks are life, animal life, water is life, you know. So we have to bring all of those things into our consideration. So maybe you come to the permaculture garden, you're like, Syndi, what are all of these things that you wear? I wear them to maintain my balance, because I understand that if I don't slow my mind down sometimes, then maybe I move too fast, or because of this or that, because obviously ultimately because of the thought patterns that I have, I might be creating dis-ease, and maybe now my liver is suffering because I worry too much, because now it causes all sorts of activity in my solar plexus or my sacrum, energy center. So depending on which aspect of what then you are interested in, then we hone you in. But that is why I feel like the first point of departure is for you guys to actually understand what it is that we're achieving. Our Space Sigma Kolo Kolo is for all of us. All of us. It's a house that we have, that we've put a permaculture garden outside there. We keep it clear. We see if people want to come bring in an income for themselves through a subscription amount. It's almost like kind of like Rotary, but Rotary for yourself to do like however you want to, but have access to everyone else who's also subscribed to the Uhuru Network. So it's a lot of work, and we need more people, because currently I'm the photographer, videographer, and then I'm the admin person, and then food stamp, and then finance, and then processor. But it's okay, because slow, steady solutions is what permaculture is all about. So, so we say nature, golf, art, everything is about endurance. I have to make sure what's in my mental game is on point, because if my mental game is not on point, it kicks off my heart space, it kicks off everything. So when you guys come, or president, because I can't now talk to you anymore, because like you're the immediate past guy. But
that's the big guy now.
Yeah. So so we would love to have you guys, like definitely. And then now when you just take my contacts, you can come anytime. Like when I have my next session, come, and then you can learn actually.
Yes.
Oh, we have a grant from the UNDP, by the way. So that's also like, what I'm trying to fundraise for is the machines that I was able to buy, like meaning our 70s. But obviously I'd have to process like day and night, which I don't have the time and the capacity to do, but I do enough to keep the, to make the samples that I then take to the access to market platform that Uhuru Pop-Up Concept gets. So I've talked to wholesalers, like cosmetics, exporters and whatever cross border to say, will you take our stuff? Can we stock a wellness warehouse, because we produce only like wellness and nutrition products? Now we are creating an army of skilled workers, because skilled value adding workers. and we start kancane. So US Embassy asked me get that leveraging in, innovation in communities grant, which I used during 2021 to 2022 December. That was just enough for me to go to these 7 communities that I'd identified. Like one of my communities is Komindaba, like Komindaba, Kutemandi, Kutekes. Oh, I went there with Rotary. Guys, I was like, oh my God, I've been here. So I went with Helping Hand one time. There was like 150 people. I went to do a workshop, you know, and then I was like, this community is mine. So I've been there like several times, and I continue to work with them today, you know. And then there, UNDP, we just recently launched the Global Empowerment Fund, which is why now the 7 communities came. We launched it, and then in August, now in July, for 2 nights. So from morning till night time, till morning till night time. So it's 2 nights and 3 full days where we'll be learning how to make a composting toilet. Oh, do you guys know, you guys want to pee and do all sorts of things in your water, it gets cleaned up and you drink it again. Yet, if you have a composting toilet, which is something that I heard about for the first time here at Rotary, and I was like, okay, what is this thing? And then when I did see it, I was like, actually, it's the coolest thing to have, because then, you know, like, you can even have it in your own household, because then you get like the most nutritious, like, compost, like human manure, you know, which to me, I'd rather have it in my vegetables and know what I'm having, like, whole holistic food. Do you guys know that if we don't like come together and singobe food security, it's going to be a problem for the world already? Because Nyalo Bati, Bill Gates, or whoever this chemical that I found my cucumbers and whatever, and then it stays on, you can't wash that thing off. Already we have all of these cancers because like we're not farming naturally enough anyway. So it is up to us. So that's why I'm very keen to have you guys there, because if you guys can see what we are doing, then we can do it together. If we're all pitching for funding, like the mobile library, I was talking to the Mbabane municipality. I'm like, I have a dream to have a mobile soup library, because I'm like, why can't I go, because I'm a children's book writer and publisher, why can't I be sponsored to take my vegetables, give these kids a cup of soup and read to them, and I let them have access to books and stuff, because I've already been doing it out in communities. So I was like, if I had a trailer, then and then hooray for everyone, you know. But remember, my vision is creating equal access to opportunities. That's my why. And I know that I am good at business linkages. I'm good at facilitating that process. I'm good at identifying whose strengths are where. And then I'm able, why, okay, are we doing this? What's happening? Then I'm able to do that in peace. So let's support each other so that we can all have the peace to do that, which we do well. Okay, so it's a date, and then you can take my number. Oh, my number, I have my WhatsApp number, which is 76999 143. 999 so Syndi, Khathwane, Ntombini. You can even put Uhuru Garden, whatever you guys want to put there. But I'd definitely love to have you guys before the 29th of July, please, because then I must go back and look for markets, because like we've just been accepted into the Wakanda Food Processing Incubator in the SA. And you know what? Remember what we said? I don't care about Bo Cyril Ramaphosa or whatever, but when I decided to see ngeke phela sikhone la Swatini because sesithi imali, and I went, do you know who one of the first people I met was? It was Cyril Ramaphosa, and we had like a short conversation, you know. So it's very important that we know what our story is, because you don't know who you're going to meet and who's going to ask you what your story is, you know. So it's important that Optimus Prime we are committed to our vision as our Young Rota Act, like that club. And I love everything that this club stands for, because it means that even I, as a leader from the back, can participate at all levels and know I have a home.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you for having me.